metabolism, longevity, cognitive clarity, mood, digestion, hormones, confidence. Honestly, pick a category. Muscle would be in the ingredient list, probably at the top. Now, I know you've heard people say strength training is good for you, but what we're doing today is something deeper. Today, we're talking about what the science actually shows, how it applies to your life. Whether you're a woman in your 40s trying to navigate perimenopause, or you're one of my male listeners who's trying to keep your metabolism and testosterone from falling off the cliff, we're talking about adults in their 40s, 50s, 60s wanting to stay independent, or young adults wanting to build a foundation to help them age well. This conversation is for everyone, really, because muscle doesn't discriminate. And no, this is not going to be one of those boring clinical monotone breakdowns of studies. I'm not here to put you to sleep. I'm going to talk to you like you're sitting in my kitchen, coffee in hand, right? What researchers are discovering about muscle being an endocrine organ, why your brain loves strength training, why your gut cheers every time you do a squat, or why aging experts from functional medicine doctors to exercise physiologists are all practically begging us to stop fearing weights and start using them. Let's start with what I hear all the time. Kim, I don't want to get bulky. Listen, if getting bulky were easy, every man in the gym would have biceps the size of bowling balls. I mean, building extreme muscle is practically a full-time job. And your hormones, especially if you're female, are not exactly cheering you towards becoming the Hulk. So, what does happen is something better. Your metabolism wakes up, your brain lights up, your joints thank you. And your mitochondria, the tiny energy factories in your cells, basically throw a party. There was a study I read recently in the Journal of Applied Physiology that showed that even moderate strength training improves something called mitochondrial efficiency. I know it's a big word, but here's what that means. Your cells become better at creating clean, stable energy. It's like upgrading your body from flickering candle to a Tesla battery. And here's what's wild, right? Strength training doesn't just make your muscles stronger. It changes how your entire biology communicates. When your muscles contract, they release signaling molecules called myokines. I always say myokines are like text messages your muscles send to the rest of your body saying, "Hey, liver, wake up." Or, "Hey, brain, let's get focused." Or, "Hey, immune system, tighten up." It's incredible. Technically, your muscles are doing more communicating than half the people you know. One of the most interesting myokines is something called irisin. When you strength train, you release irisin, and irisin actually helps convert white fat, the storage kind, the visceral fat type, into brown fat, the kind that we had when we were babies that burns energy. Imagine telling your fat stores, "Hey, stop hanging out and do something productive." That's what irisin does. Now, I know some of you love HIIT, high intensity interval training. And HIIT is great in small intentional doses. But what's fascinating is that strength training alone increases what's called EPOC, excess post exercise oxygen consumption, which is a fancy way of saying your body keeps burning calories after your workout. So I know, like in my 20s and 30s, when I was lifting, I was a competitive bodybuilder in college. I just did one competition, really. But the energy that you're burning, I mean, when you sleep at night, you need a sheet, and that is it, because your body is burning so many calories that your body stays warm. Like, I've seen people who really dedicated to light weightlifting, in the winter they would be wearing the wife beater, they're called shirts, or what, the tank top shirts, and they would be wearing shorts because they had so much muscle that they were running so warm. So it's amazing what will happen when you just have a little bit of muscle on your body, and how warm it'll keep your body, how good it'll make you feel, how good it'll make you look. I mean, it just changes everything about your body. It communicates with your brains, with your brain, with your fats, with everything about your body, and it's amazing in its communication to everything metabolic about your health. So, with your body that's burning these calories, you can be sitting on the couch later watching, I don't know, Netflix or any kind of show that you watch, and your body's still like, we're not done. That is the kind of multitasking I can get behind, right? Let me tell you something else. The research it keeps confirming. There's a study out of the European Journal of Preventing Cardiology, that preventative cardiology, that found that grip strength, yes, grip strength. I'm going to try to find my gripper here. Is one of the strongest predictors of mortality, not cholesterol, not BMI, not even aerobic fitness. Grip strength, especially the stronger your muscles, the longer you're likely to live. Like, you can do a farmer carry, I think it's called, or dead farmer's carry, I think, and grab whatever you can grab. If it's 20 pounds, if it's 45 pounds, whatever it is, and you hold them on the side of your body like this, and you walk with them or hold them for whatever. But I tend to walk back and forth. It keeps my brain off of the weight that I'm holding. I try to hold 40 pounds in each hand or 35 pounds in each hand. It's pretty heavy for me, but I can hold it for a minute. And that is what they're looking for. That's what you're looking for, to try to help increase your metabolism and to strengthen your body. So essentially, the stronger your muscles, the longer you're likely to live. And that's not my opinion. That's epidemiology. That is why aging specialists, whether it's muscle-centric researchers like Gabriel Lyon, or orthopedic surgeons focused on longevity like Vonda Wright, or women's physiology experts like Stacy Sims, or data-driven longevity voices like Peter Attia, they may have different approaches, but on this topic, they all agree. Muscle is health. Muscle is protection. Muscle is metabolic stability. Muscle is anti-inflammatory, and muscle is youth. And you don't need barbells or powerlifting platforms or chalk buckets to get these benefits. You just need resistance. Dumbbells, resistant bands, your own body weight, these are all tools. What matters is the signal you're sending your body. And the signal is, hey, build me, repair me, strengthen me, keep me capable, right? You want to be able to, like, if you drop an apple on the floor from your grocery bag and you need to pick it up, you don't want to fall over. I mean, I was one of my clients, I'll say, literally has a dog and she can't pick up the dog's dog poop without falling over. So I put her with a personal trainer so that she can actually start building her strength, so that she can pick up the poop and clean up after her dog and not fall over and have all the neighbors have to come and rescue her. And it's not just physical capability, it's mental also, right? So let's talk about the brain, because research around strength training and cognitive health is exploding. There's a landmark study in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society that found that older adults who strength trained just twice a week had significantly better executive function, memory, and processing speed. So executive function, memory, and processing speed. And when you're not even talking heavy lifting, that they were doing simple movements with moderate resistance. And why does this happen? Because strength training increases BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. BDNF is basically the fertilizer for your brain. The more of it you have, the better your neurons fire, connect, repair, and create new pathways in your brain. Your brain loves muscle. Every time you lift, it's like hitting refresh on your mental clarity. And let's talk emotions, because your mood is directly tied to strength training, right? So, not just from endorphins, but because resistance training impacts serotonin, dopamine, and our stress hormone, cortisol. There's a study from psychiatric research showing that strength training can reduce symptoms of anxiety up to 20 to 30% without medication, because it activates the same neural pathways that support emotional resilience. That's why people walk out of the gym feeling like a better version of themselves. It's not just the workout, it's the brain chemistry. Now, I want to shift to the gut, because if you've ever had digestive issues, bloating, constipation, gas, sluggish metabolism, strength training can help. And when you move your body through resistance, you increase circulation to the digestive organs. You support motility. You improve vagal tone. And you stimulate that beautiful gut-brain axis. So research even shows that regular resistance training increases the diversity of the gut microbiome, which is a major marker of long-term health. You literally build a healthier gut by building healthier muscle. And there's a fun little side effect of strength training that people don't talk about enough. It's your body composition changes, even if your weight doesn't. I can remember that, like, I was working with a personal trainer and I was stuck at 151, but my body was changing. And I could not break 151, but my body kept changing. So just keep lifting the weights and your fat will burn off and you'll gain more muscle, because your body composition changes even if the weight doesn't. You become more insulin sensitive, which is critical whether you're male, female, young, or older. Stable blood sugar is one of the most powerful things you can achieve for metabolic health, brain clarity, cravings, inflammation, and energy. This is why every single longevity expert, regardless of philosophy, ends up saying the same thing. If you want to age well, build muscle. If you want better hormones, build muscle. If you want better sleep, a better mood, fewer injuries, better digestion, build muscle. And none of this needs to feel like a chore. Strength training can be fun, it can be empowering, it can be playful. It can feel like rediscovering your inner badass, whether you're lifting 5 pounds or 50. Before I continue, I want to say something to my male listeners. Everything I'm saying applies to you too. Men lose muscle with age just as predictably as women. And maintaining strength is one of the most important things you can do for testosterone, longevity, joint health, and metabolic health. Muscle is not a gender topic, it's a human topic. And it's one of the few universal truths in health. Stronger bodies are healthier bodies. All right, I'm going to take a quick moment to thank the sponsor of today's episode, because what they offer ties beautifully into this theme of taking care of your body and your environment. Today's episode is brought to you by Larson Botanicals, our handcrafted line of clean, non-toxic botanical home and body products. It's all made with organic ingredients, right? These are things that will body products that will support your health in the gentlest and most luxurious way. We have a serum. This serum is a godsend. I mean, this thing smells delicious. It's all made with natural oils that will help boost your skin, build the luxuriousness of your skin, keep it moisturized all winter long. We've got a deep moisture balm, this deep moisture balm is a lifesaver. I put it on my hands. My hands normally would be dry by now. They'd be cracking. Not with this deep moisture balm. It is so protective. I don't have a lip balm around, but we also have these little tins of, oh, I don't have it labeled yet. Here's one. But it's a little tin of lip balm. And this stuff is so delicious. We've got cherry, we've got peppermint, and an orange one. And they're so delicious. Anyhow, so these are great products. Just let me tell you that our essential oil candles are not your average candles. They are created with clean burning wax blended with therapeutic grade essential oils that don't just make your home smell good, they elevate the air you're breathing. It's like lighting a little moment of wellness in your space. And our winter skincare line, the deep moisture balm, the repairing myrrh balm, the nutrient rich face serums and hydrating face cream, and our lip balm. All of these are made with small batches. I've got an event coming up on December 6th, and when they're gone, they're gone. All these have pure botanicals designed to protect your skin through the harsh, colder months. They make beautiful, meaningful gifts, and because everything is handcrafted, supplies are very limited. When this batch sells out, we won't make any until the new year. So if you want gifts that are both luxurious and health-centered, visit larsonbotanicals.com and grab them early. All right, so let's dive deeper into what the research shows about strength training and aging, because this is where things get really interesting and honestly kind of shocking. One of the most eye-opening studies I've read in the past few years was published in the American Journal of Medicine, and it looked at something called sarcopenia, which is the natural loss of muscle mass that happens as we age. And here's the jaw dropper. Between ages 30 and 60, the average adult loses about 1% of muscle mass per year. If you're not actively working to maintain it, after 60, that rate accelerates, sometimes up to 2 to 3% per year. That means that by the time most people retire, they've lost almost a third of their muscle they had in their 20s and 30s. Now, the good news is that strength training not only stops that decline, it reverses it. Research from the Journal of Gerontology found that even adults in their 70s, 80s, and 90s, if you make it that long, yes, the 90s, can rebuild muscle with resistance training. But you got to get there. And if you're going to make it to the 70s, 80s, and 90s, you need to start now. Because if you haven't been lifting weights, you're in trouble. Your bones are brittle, your hormones are out of whack, you're probably gaining weight in your midsection. It's really, really important. Even if you just pick up 5 pounds, even if you do some planks, do some push-ups, do some push-ups on your knees, do some shoulder presses, do some shoulder raises, do some sit-ups. I mean, it's just amazing what you can do with your own body weight to strengthen your body. So there was a study where nursing home residents in their 90s increased quad strength by almost 200% in just 8 weeks of very basic strength training. So if anyone listening thinks it's too late for me, the science says absolutely not. Your muscles are listening at every age. So let's talk metabolism for a minute, because this is where people get confused. Your metabolism doesn't slow down because you're getting older. It slows down because you're losing muscle. A study in Nature Medicine found that metabolic rate stays relatively stable until about age 60, unless there's muscle loss. So the idea that my metabolism died after 40 is not actually true. What often died was muscle tissue, which is your metabolic engine. And this is where insulin sensitivity comes in. There's research from the Diabetes Journal showing that skeletal muscle is responsible for up to 80% of the glucose you clear from your bloodstream after eating. So imagine that, like 80%. This means that the more muscle you have, Regardless of your gender, the more efficient your body handles carbs, sugar, and energy. The less muscle you have, the more likely you are to deal with insulin resistance, prediabetes, weight gain, fatigue, and metabolic dysfunction. Muscle isn't just about strength, it's literally your glucose disposal system. Now let's hop over to the cardiovascular side of things because for years the message was cardio equals heart health. And yes, cardio is great. Zone two training is fantastic. Walking is amazing. But strength training is majorly underappreciated when it comes to the heart. A study from the American Heart Association found that people who strength trained at least twice per week reduce the risk of heart attack and stroke by a significant margin. And they weren't even doing long workouts. The average session was 20 to 30 minutes. Strength training improves blood pressure, enhances vascular function, supports nitric oxide production, and improves arterial elasticity. And here's something even cooler. When you strength train, your heart learns to adapt to both acute stress and recovery. It becomes stronger, more efficient, and more resilient. It's not just a pump, it's a responsive organ, and strength training teaches it how to adapt. Okay, so now I want to shift to your bones because this is where I want everyone, especially my women in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, to really listen. This was a groundbreaking randomized controlled trial. These are the gold standard of trials called the LIFTMOR study, LIFTMOR, published in the Journal of Bone and Mineral Research. They took postmenopausal women, many with osteoporosis, and put them through a high intensity strength training protocol. Guess what happened? Not only did they not injure themselves, which was the fear, but they increased bone density in the spine and hip. They actually reversed osteoporosis markers with strength training. Think about that. Drugs can slow bone loss, but strength training done correctly can reverse it. The bones need impact and resistance to grow. They respond to stress, the good kind of stress, by laying down new mineralization. When you lift, you're telling your bones, hey, stay strong, stay dense. We've got things to do. Now, I want to talk about something people don't associate with strength training: inflammation. Chronic inflammation is one of the biggest predictors of disease. Heart disease, Alzheimer's, depression, arthritis, autoimmune conditions. Inflammation is part of the picture in all of them. But when you strength train, you release anti-inflammatory myokines like IL-10 and IL-15 that help down-regulate chronic inflammation in the body. There's a study in Frontiers in Physiology showing that regular resistance training significantly lowers inflammatory markers like CRP, which is your C-reactive protein, and TNF alpha. Basically, muscle is anti-inflammatory medicine. This is also why strength training helps with joint pain. A lot of people assume their knees hurt because they're old. But the research says it's often not age, it's weakness. When your quads and glutes are weak, your knees take the hit. When your hips are weak, your back pays the price. When your core is weak, everything compensates. Stronger bodies hurt less. There's a fascinating paper in Arthritis Care and Research showing that resistance training reduced pain in osteoarthritis patients just as effectively as some medications without side effects, right? There's every medication you take, there's a side effect. So if you can do it naturally by lifting, there's no medication side effects. Your muscle just stabilizes your joints. It creates alignment. It improves movement mechanics. It takes the pressure off the places that are screaming. So let's talk about immune system, because this one surprised researchers. When you strength train, you increase circulation of natural killer cells, NK cells, which are like the body's SWAT team. They're the first responders that detect abnormal cells, viral invaders, bacteria, and even early cancer cells. A study in Frontiers in Immunology found that one single bout of resistance training increases NK cells count within hours. That's one bout of resistance training increases NK cell count within hours. Think about that. One workout strengthens your immune surveillance system that fast. And I want to shift to mental health, because there is no health without mental health. One of my favorite studies was published in JAMA Psychiatry. They analyzed strength training across multiple trials and found that resistance training reduced depressive symptoms significantly. And it didn't matter whether participants got stronger or not. The simple act of showing up and doing the work improved mood. And what does that tell us? It's about identity. It's about action. It's about proving to yourself that you can do hard things. If you are unmotivated to work out, just start with 5 minutes. Set out your workout clothes the night before. Just get up in the morning and start somewhere. Get on your back and do a glute bridge, or do some sit-ups, or just lift your legs, lay on the floor and lift your legs up. Just lift your legs up. You guys can do all kinds of great exercises if you want to. So it's all in action. It's all about proving to yourself that you can do hard things. And speaking of providing something to yourself, let's talk about confidence. There's a physiological concept called self-efficacy, and it simply means believing that you can handle what life throws at you. And yes, you can. We all can. Numerous studies, including one from International Journal of Behavioral Nutrition and Physical Activity, show that strength training improves self-efficacy in ways cardio does not. Something about lifting weights, overcoming resistance, feeling your power. Your power is amazing. It changes the way you walk around the world. You stop apologizing for existing. You start owning your space. You show up big. You start showing up with a different kind of presence, one that people feel. Now, let me bring this back to men for a second, because men lose testosterone naturally with age. And one of the most effective research-backed ways to keep testosterone healthy is, you guessed it, strength training. Not overtraining, not chronic cardio, not slashing calories. It's strength training. There's a study in sports medicine showing that men who do regular resistance training have better testosterone response, lower cortisol, higher growth hormone spikes, and better metabolic health overall. Muscle is not a gender thing. Muscle is a human survival tool. And honestly, I think one of the most empowering things we can do, no matter our gender, our age, our fitness level, is to reframe exercise away from burn calories or lose weight, and shift it toward, I'm building a body that can carry me through the next 40, 50, or 60 years of my life. You're building a body that's hard to break. I remember going to get a blood draw, and they were like, your skin is so thick. Do you lift weights? I said, yes, I do. And they're like, I can tell. That is so cool to hear, that even just your skin builds up, right? Because most people, as they age, you've seen your grandparents and their skin is so thin and there's blood spots everywhere. If you build muscle by lifting weights, your skin will get thicker and you'll be able to handle little scrapes and bumps and bruises. You're building a body that's harder to break. You're building a mind that's harder to shake. That's right. I didn't even know it. You're building a metabolism that's harder to disrupt, right? You're building resilience that touches every part of your life. And honestly, you're building a version of yourself that shows up with more joy. When you feel strong, you feel different. You interact differently. You make different choices. You start valuing sleep, valuing protein, valuing hydration and boundaries, the entire package. It's a glow up, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. We all want to glow up. We all want to be strong. We all want to be able to take care of ourselves, right? It'll help build your mood. It'll help create all this information in you that helps you carry you throughout life. So let me bring this full circle. If there's one thing I hope you walk away with today, it's not that strength training isn't about perfection or performance or trying to fit yourself into some outdated idea of what fitness is supposed to look like. Strength training is about health, it's about longevity, it's about mental clarity, mental stability, and building a body that carries you boldly through the next phase of your life. Muscle is a currency, and the more of it you have, the richer your health becomes. So, whether you're brand new to this or you've been lifting for years, just remember every rep counts. Every time you pick up resistance, you tell your body, I'm not done growing. I'm not done evolving. I'm building something. And if you want tools, guidance, or personalized support on the journey, you can always visit larsonnutrition.com or larsonhealthweightloss.com. I have programs, hormone supportive meal plans, and coaching designed specifically to help you build a life you're proud of living. So my larsonnutrition.com website is a more updated website. It's just fresher. It's more modern. It's a cleaner looking website, and it performs better than larsonhealthweightloss.com. So check out larsonnutrition.com or larsonbotanicals.com to get your Christmas gifts, and get them now before they sell out, because there's not a whole lot of product. I'm going to be opening up a shop so that I can create more product and get more done. Instead of working in our kitchen. We had to clean everything out for Thanksgiving. By the way, I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. But we had so much product sitting on the dining room table and in the kitchen on the countertops, and it was just everywhere. So we had to clear it all out and make some room so we could actually like cook dinner. So don't forget your hands on our handcrafted winter collection at larsonbotanicals.com. The non-toxic candles made with essential oils blended to bring beauty and purity to your space. Plus the deep moisture balms, repairing myrrh balm, face serums, face cream, and lip balms. They make gorgeous wellness forward gifts, but we only make small batches. So once these holiday items are gone, they're gone until the new year. So grab them now while they're still available. And thank you for being here with me today. Thank you for showing up for yourself. And thank you for spending this time learning, expanding, and stepping into your power, right? This is your strong moment in your life, your most empowered season of life. I'm Kim Larson, and this is the Larson Health Podcast. Stay strong, stay curious, and I'll be back with you next week.